Welcome to Inspired Living with Mark and Kim. Every Wednesday, Mark and Kim, along with their special guests, will explore thought-provoking topics and ideas that promote creativity, self-help, healing, happiness, and well-being to inspire you on your spiritual journey. Each week, Mark and Kim will discuss different paths to achieving a more spiritual, balanced, happy, and healthy lifestyle. Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience, and all things spiritual. Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. Mark and Kim are tested, certified, and professional spiritual mediums, metaphysical teachers, healers, and spiritual advisors with their own individual spiritual practices in Seattle, Washington, and Los Angeles, California. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
When it comes to money, the human will always separate off and think of themselves. Oh boy, this is one of my favorite quotes of our guest today. Not necessarily around money, but just the human aspect and unity consciousness. And there's no better guest than to have on today that's going to share what that all means. I'm very excited about our show today. Good afternoon, inspired listeners, and welcome to Inspired Living with Mark and Kim. We have an amazing show today. Well, simply put, we have an amazing guest with an amazing life-changing message. She's definitely been an instrumental part of my own journey, and I really can't get enough of her and her message. I listen to her every day. So we will be taking your calls and questions if you have them. This is the time to call. There's arguably no one that's better positioned to answer them related to our topics today, which I have a feeling we're going to be covering the gamut here, everything from the quantum field to New Earth to all things higher consciousness. You can call us live at 202-570-7057, or you can send them through on our Facebook page, which I'll be checking and Mark will be checking. I'm going to make this quick so that we don't take up too much time, but if you'd like to learn more about the work that I am doing, you can find me at lovefirst.info. I'll also be in Los Angeles over the next 2 weeks. If you'd like to schedule an appointment with me in my LA office, I would love to work with you. Without further ado, Mark Lanehart, the intuitive prospector up in the great Northwest. Mark, how are you doing up there?
Yes, hi. Hi, Kim. I'm doing fantastic up here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our inspired listeners, wherever you may be at in this beautiful planet of ours. We do like to say that you are the inspired and the inspiration. The next hour is going to go very quick with this discussion as far as I was saying right before we went live, how many dimensions we could actually navigate through our conversation. So I want to just let the inspired listeners know a few ways to follow us. Like Kim said, a few ways to call in. You can call in. This is going to be for the U.S. only listeners. That's 1-202-570-7057. If you're outside of the U.S. and you have a question for our international listeners, just go to our Facebook page, which is Inspired Living Radio. Ask to become an inspired listener to the community. We'll, of course, approve you and bring your questions live to air. If you missed today's live show that's streaming right now through OMTimes Radio on the internet, you can always catch our encore shows. We have several different channels that we have our encore shows as we move into our third season of Inspired Living Radio. You can catch us on YouTube, marklanehart.com, SoundCloud, lovefirst.info, Podbean, and iTunes. If you want to follow us on social media, again, the Facebook page is Inspired Living Radio. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Inspired For Us. That is the number 4, Inspired For Us, and Google Plus Communities. For our affirmation for the month of June, I just can't believe I'm looking at the date, Kim, and we're already halfway through June. I don't know where. I know we've been off the air a couple weeks with encore shows, but I don't know where the time goes. It must be a dimensional thing as far as time goes. But the Inspired Living Radio positive affirmation for the month of June is, as gratitude becomes a growing part of my life, so does my happiness. Let me say that one more time. As gratitude becomes a growing part of my life, so does my happiness. And this month's Inspired Living Radio Positive Affirmation is sponsored by Prime My Body, from soil to oil, and one of the best absorption-rated nano-enhanced hemp oils on the market. an all-natural, plant-based supplement with no psychoactive highs and legal in all 50 states. From liquid hemp oil, hemp-infused skin moisturizer, hemp protein superfood, or a simple liver detoxification system, start achieving your health and wellness goals naturally from the leaves and rootstock of this amazing, healing, and ancient plant, hemp. Your health is your wealth. For more information, please visit awareness.primemybody.com. If you want to learn more about the work I'm doing here in the Pacific Northwest, the Forest Friday hikes I'm on, any events that I'm doing here in Seattle, Washington, please visit markleanhart.com. You can internet search The Intuitive Prospector, and you can catch me every Monday morning for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays on the Intuitive Prospector page. I'd love to do a little spiritual prospecting with you for your own spiritual gold. Kim, back to you.
All right, without further delay here, Lisa Transcendence Brown is a globally recognized author, transformational speaker, teacher, coach, WayShower, guide, New Earth Physical Ascension and Empowerment guide, assisting others in awakening to remembering fully and living mastery from within. Lisa, thank you so much for being with us today, and welcome to Inspired Living. I'm so excited to have you.
Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, Kim and Mark. Hi, thank you. I'm so excited to do this with you, too. We have lots, don't we?
Yes, that's why I'm like, oh, my gosh, we got to hurry up because this is just not enough time.
No, time doesn't exist, especially when we go quantum. I was laughing at Mark a little while ago when I was listening to him. He's like, where's the time go? Get ready. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, I know. And, listen, 45 minutes or, whatever it is we have left. I mean, compared to what it is you do, I'm a part of Lisa's monthly community calls. And let me tell you something, folks, she goes like 16 hours straight. So, and it doesn't skip a beat. Okay. I've never seen anything like it before. So that's
it's
what
called
I mean.
the light body.
Yes.
Only 16 hours, Kim? Only 16 hours?
No, we went 21 months.
20? Did you
we
go
went
21
months? We went almost 24 hours until at like 6 o'clock the next morning and took like 2 5-minute breaks. So, yeah.
That's how Lisa rock and rolls. So that's why I'm like, we gotta get busy over here. So Lisa, what is going on with Ascension, New Earth, with humanity? What's happening out there in the world?
Everything would cover it, just because everything is going on. And so there's really no easy way to explain it, so I'm going to move through a lot of things really quick. Earth went multidimensional, and our human aspect, and I speak about our human aspect, and then I speak about the rest of our aspects, because we have many aspects. But at first, when we start waking up, we don't understand all of this. And part of the waking up process is, if we were deep asleep, it can be rough and harsh. And if we were somewhat awake, then it can be a little bit easier, but it's a challenging journey to wake up at first. Then it becomes awesome and magical and amazing, which is why all of us who were the forerunners, the gatekeepers, all of these words we use, why our role is to share the information that makes a difference for everybody here. And so, because we've already gone through it, we had to go through the rough and the tough and the suffering to understand how the whole process works. So, once you've experienced it, yes, sweetheart.
Yes, when you talk about that, I was going to say, I'm, not as far down the path as you are, so to speak, not nearly, but I'm making my way. I know, I'm making my way. But I was just going to say to that, because it just doesn't seem to let up. It is like,
it's not going to either. It's going to continue to accelerate and intensify for the human ego aspect, for the human body, which is why I have to break it down to explain, because none of this process is linear. And so if we're trying to understand this with our linear brain, we're not going to get it. We're going to be really confused, and we're not going to want to listen to it. It's going to be too bizarre, too weird, too far out there. And our linear human wants proof. Well, proof is suffering. So we let go of the proof, needing to know. The needing to know has to go. And it means really going deep inside of ourselves and searching and connecting and doing whatever it takes. Now, for the human aspect, our heart's closed, which means our mind is closed too. And this is what creates suffering. And so for each person, our role is to get our heart open. Well, when our heart first starts to open, all our stuff's coming up, which is what our human ego aspect fights so hard not to deal with. It doesn't want to feel. It doesn't want to deal with all the things that's suppressed and avoided and ignored and the discomfort and all these things. But we learn early on that if we will just go straight into the discomfort, it's a lot easier ride. And so it means basically going where we didn't want to go, owning what we didn't want to own, letting completely go of our ego, the duality. Duality is a huge part of the ego. It's the whole ego game is a duality game. And it is a game. It's a game. Sorry, sweetheart, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, what is the ego? Does the ego
It
serve
is so
a
deeply
purpose?
Embedded
in
each one of us that we have no clue how far and how deep our ego goes.
Do we need our ego?
No.
No.
For a while you will, because I call it the good ego, and we don't do good and bad because it's a duality thing. And everything is basically returning to the light. Everything is returning to love. Everything is a purification process. Everything is to wake us up to who we truly are, and it has nothing to do with our human experience. The human experience was here to clear the duality within ourselves. It was our chosen experience. But then it's time to move beyond that for physical body ascension to occur and to return to full unity inside of ourselves. Now, in order to do that, there is a part of the process where we actually use our, if you will, we go into our ego and use courage. But it's basically our stubbornness against the old. Does this make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so it's a part of, there's a part of our ego that you actually use in the beginning to get yourself through some of the experiences where you have to be strong enough, but it's not really your ego, but it feels like it. So let me explain it this way. When all of us start to wake up till we have gifts and natural abilities and that we're special and we've never thought we were special, and we start embracing all of these things, we actually go into our ego to become these things so that we can care enough about ourselves and open up to share our gifts. Mm-hmm. But then you have to let go of all of those identities about how special we are and realize the importance of why we came here and that we're no more special than anybody else, which is transcending the ego of being more special. Does this make sense?
Oh, it absolutely does. And I see this a lot in the quote-unquote light worker industry.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to see it.
Yes, yes. You got to move beyond
we have
that.
to, right. Yeah. We have to move beyond it. And when I was going through my universe, I just call it my universe, because my universe is just my higher aspect of myself. And so you actually, once you become your higher self, once you become your whole universe, you don't have an outside anything anymore. You just kind of talk to yourself, and you have to label it something so you can explain what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But once you fully unify inside completely to a place of this purest form of love that we are, then all duality will start to fall away. But it means living this in your everyday life, in everything that you do, which is the hard part for the human aspect, because it still has all this programming that it's unaware that it has, which means paying attention to our own program, paying attention to the energy of what's going on inside of us. Everything will take everyone inward. And so if we're avoiding going inward, I don't like this word, but I have to use it. I'm watching and seeing a lot of people right now that they're blaming their God, they're blaming their universe, they're blaming for punishing them, or, and they don't understand this isn't a punishment. This is ego resistance to refuse to listen and open up. So therefore, we get into timeline collapses. When those timelines have to collapse, the whole reality collapses too. Well, the only realities that collapse are the ones we're hanging on to. Because a collapse is a unification to move everybody into a higher dimensional existence. This is no longer, I mean, it is for a lot of people. At first, we have to go to sleep to wake up. And that makes absolutely no sense. We enter the world of what I call opposites. Everything's in reverse and backwards in the beginning. The opposite of everything we thought becomes the truth. And then we dissolve all of that. But this is a dissolving our ego. This is a resolving everything into love. This is a complete letting go process of everything we're holding on to. Zero attachment, zero need, no more lack. And that's a huge process. It just doesn't happen overnight. But when we, and this is the key, when we dedicate ourselves to ourselves on a higher level, this isn't self-service of being selfish. This is self-service from a place of love so we can step into and fulfill our roles, our highest purposes roles here. This is understanding that if we give every ounce of energy and everything we have away, we have nothing to function from. And so it means really focusing on ourselves. And at first, we have to let the whole outside world go. You have to let it go. And you do have to let the whole outside world go to go inside to access all the other dimensions, because the other dimensions is where your truth is. The other dimensions, and you know, I was explaining to somebody the other day, trying to explain to them why it's so hard for me to train them to help me. And I'm like, because I live from the other dimensions. I don't live from this one. I live in all these other dimensions.
Okay, Lisa, that's our first break. So just
we'll come back. Okay,
sweetie. We'll come back in 2 minutes. So stay with us. We do have some callers on the line as well.
Thanks, sweetie.
The future of Internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio, IOM FM. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Are you seeking answers to life questions? Would you like to connect to a departed loved one? Are you suffering from pain, stress, or anxiety? Kimberly Thalkin is a tested, certified, and professional psychic, spiritual medium, energy healer, hypnotherapist, and the founder of Love First, where life transformations happen. Love First services support, guide, and empower individuals by connecting them to their highest potential to live a healthier, joyful, and meaningful life that's filled with purpose. All services can be done by phone, Skype, or in person in Encino, California. Please visit lovefirst.info. That's LOVEFIRST.info for more information.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fox, host and astrologer of The Astrology Show. Each week, I'll give you access to the current transits, which are a valuable tool that provide astrological information to help unlock the potential each of us has. Understanding the stars can help steer us in the right direction to make better informed choices. So if you're wondering what's going to happen in your week ahead, be sure to tune in to The Astrology Show for guidance, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
I'm Fidel Mshombo. I was born in a city called Bukavu in the Congo. We were a loving family, and then, boom, everything that I had disappeared in a single day. People think that when you are a refugee and they resettle you to America, and all your problems are done. They don't understand that that's the beginning of everything. I was not born a refugee. I was made one.
It's time we welcome refugee families with open arms. Learn more at embracerefugees.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Inspired Living Radio with our special guest today, Lisa Transcendence Brown. Before we went to break, Lisa, you were talking about living in multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
So I'll let you continue on with that. And we do have some callers on the line too, as I knew we would. But yeah.
Yes. Okay. So basically our ability to open up access to all the other dimensions means we have to go inside in order to basically clear a path, clear away all the things that were in the way. And it's our human emotions, it's our human belief system, it's all of those things of the ego that actually get in the way. And I'm having to use words that are limiting here to describe a process. But basically it means being willing to completely surrender your ego to a higher purpose, to a higher process, a higher dimensional existence that on an ego level we don't believe even exists. And so it means actually being truly ready to dedicate our life to a whole new existence. Well, a lot of people right now, what's going on is the acceleration of our DNA, the acceleration of Gaia's, or Earth's DNA, the acceleration of solar light codes, the acceleration of galactic codes, the acceleration to where our DNA, RNA, genetics completely get reworked. And so the human aspect cannot understand any of this because it doesn't fit into what we think reality is supposed to be. But New Earth is all new realities that challenge the human's beliefs. Does this make sense?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
But New Earth is not a thing far off in the future. It's a vibrational existence that we achieve within ourselves. New Earth energies are of pure unity consciousness, unity, love, respect, integrity for ourselves and each other on a whole new level. There's a level of respect missing for the human. There's a level of love missing. There's a purity missing. Everybody is being returned to purity consciousness. The physical body has to go through a rigorous process to clear all of the distortions and the programs out of the body. All of this is located in the body. And in the beginning, before we woke up to this, we didn't have a clue. We had no idea. None of us did.
Right.
So now I'll be quiet.
Oh, no, Lisa. I mean, everything that you're saying, it's like
stuff.
the purification process is, and I
Huge.
just feel it amping up. It's like you don't get a break. Yeah. It is not.
Do you want to know the funny part is we haven't, June has been very quiet thus far, but I'm observing everybody having a rough time. Nothing's happened yet. That doesn't happen until we come through the solstice. It's calm, it's quiet. Now we're going to have a lot of solar frequencies that start coming through the next couple of days, which basically goes straight to our DNA. But the bombardments and the blasting that we have gone through before, anytime we hit a solstice or equinox, it gets delayed. Right now we're in a template rewrite. Right now we're in a clearing process. And a part of observing your own programs and moving through everything that's not aligned. Move it through, align it, get it straight, let it go. Because when we go through this gateway, there's no bringing anything of the old with you, or you get drugged through it.
Oh my gosh, Lisa. Okay, I've got to fasten my seatbelt over here because it's not calm and quiet on my end right now within me. So
it's not going to be on a human level. No. Nope.
Okay. But if you're saying that's
not going
to be even more.
Yes, we haven't entered acceleration phase yet.
Oh my goodness.
We don't do that until we go through the soul. Yeah. Once we come through the solstice, everything's going to start rocking and rolling like in a really huge way.
When does that happen?
Well, actually today, 13th and 14th is a galactic activation that's going on. It's okay, so how do I explain this? There is always a ton going on. There is always tons going on. Like yesterday, we had diamond light code frequencies and rainbow frequencies activate really strongly. But the more your body, your light body, your physical body and your light body merge. So a lot of people for years kept waiting for the light body to come and to leave their current body, and that's not how this works. You have to integrate enough light so that you can function through the embodiment, function through the acclimation. You have to acclimate to these frequencies. So it's an acclimation process of integrating photonic light in your physical body so you can function in a waking state, because your sleep and your waking state flip and merge. So everything that used to be a dream that you'd go to sleep and close your eyes and dream about, it starts appearing in your physical world.
Oh my goodness gracious, Lisa, this is...
Yes, but you have to achieve a gamma brainwave state with your whole body to walk on New Earth. Gamma is the baseline frequency. So the activation of cosmic rays and everything that's going on, the bombardment of light, each one of us on a multidimensional level agreed to do this process before we ever incarnated or walked in here. The difference is the human ego doesn't accept this, and it resists the whole process instead of basically getting on board and going all in. And you have to go all in for this to be an easier ride. You have to commit your whole life to a whole new existence. We don't get to go back to old Earth anymore. It's gone. And technically, those of us who have done this, we watched it dissolve and collapse years ago. Now it just happens in the physical reality. And the reason I say this is because on a quantum level, when you have access to all the other dimensions, we see it, on a human level, we would call it prophetic, but it's more than that. We see everything occur years before they ever occur in the, what I would call 3D, 4D world. Mm-hmm. So the stuff that's going down now, we saw years ago, and we would share, okay, people, this is what's coming. Well, it trickles through vibrationally, if you will. The more dense we are on a, and I don't mean dense, I mean dense as physical matter density. Mm-hmm. The more out of alignment we are from our own pure source light, the more disconnected we are, the more asleep we are, the more unconscious we are, the rougher the ride. Now, there is always a bazillion things going on 24 hours a day. The only difference is once you've acclimated to these frequencies, you can function in them. The human body doesn't have the capability to do this. Only the human physical light body does. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does. It all does. But then again, I've been listening to you for a while. So
okay. I might have to re-listen to the show. Just to get it all in.
It's a continual integration process that runs 24 hours a day. And the purpose of every day is to integrate that light first. And then your physical realities align for you. So we don't seek anything. We just get up each day. We've already seen what we need to do. We get up each day in service. We do what we see because you get access to everything again. There's no more lack. There's no more unconsciousness. You might see unconsciousness, but this is where each person's universe comes in. Is you understand we're the multiverse. So each person is walking around in their own universe, having their own reality relative for them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You can walk around on a multidimensional level with everybody, but no longer be affected or influenced because you stand as pure source light. Mm-hmm. You emit, you radiate, you affect the field of consciousness through the amount of power you hold, but it starts with the purity of love and remembering everything that we forgot.
Yes.
And through that remembrance, go ahead, sweetheart.
No, go ahead.
Nope, I'm going to be quiet now.
Oh, okay. Well, we do have some callers that I want to make sure we get to, but when you say remembering, that is so beautiful because as I've followed your work, sometimes it's brought me to tears as I listen to you and I go, oh my gosh, I know that. And it's actually brought me to tears. So it is a remembering.
It's all inside, encoded in your DNA. It's all inside in your cells, but we have to access it.
Right.
And everything, every person here already knows this. Every person here has already done this. Every person here, the only thing that each person is going through is clearing of the unconscious programs inside of their body and reconnecting to remember again, which happens through our heart opening, but not a little bit, wide open. We have to be wide open 24 hours a day. No more shutting down.
Yeah.
And what will happen is it starts first coming through by way of feelings. Well, if you don't like the way you feel and you're shutting everything down, you can't remember.
Okay, so on that note, we're going to take our first caller. I understand that the phone lines have been crashing because there's so many people trying to call in. So, okay, so Mark, go ahead and I'll let you bring in the first person here.
Yeah, just for a reminder for our inspired listeners out there, the phone lines are to call in for your questions only, not to listen to the show. If you want to listen to the show live, head over to OMTimes Radio through the internet, and you can stream through any device anywhere in the world. You don't need a password or username, just because some of the phone lines are crashing because we have callers calling in. And if you want to learn more about Lisa Transcendence Brown, you can visit her site as well at awakeningtoremember.com. We want to bring our first caller in, awakeningtoremembering.com, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And Mark, I want to say this to you guys and all the callers. I'm going to take you inward. So anything you ask me, we're going to go inside. We don't care about the outside world. That's each person's creation that they physically experience.
Got it. So get ready, because we're going to bring our first inspired listening caller to the live to the air. Her name is, I'm supposed to say, Deb Aura. So Deb Aura from Canada, are you on the line with us?
Hello, hi, Deb.
I am on the line. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Inspired Living Radio.
Thank
what
you.
Is your
Hi,
question,
Deb.
Lisa?
Thank you so much for your service. My heart just explodes. I would say since 2005. Thank you. I've exclusively been tuning into Christ consciousness. And the last couple of years, thank you. The last couple of years, I've really consciously, daily been working with activating, amplifying my DNA, opening to the light codes. As a matter of fact, even last night, you had said the diamond light codes were coming in. Well, I was just inspired to listen to this beautiful hour meditation, bringing in those diamond light codes. Having said that, thank you. I do understand that huge cosmic gateways have opened since the middle of May. Personally, I have been feeling so uninspired in my service.
That's a template wipe.
It is a template wipe.
Be okay with that. Yeah.
And that's
it's
what
a template
I
wipe.
feel.
You have no inspiration or creativity during that. And it's also, for the human aspect, we'll hit a void space where it'll feel like emptiness. And it's kind of, you can equate it on a galactic level to a black hole. Okay? And I actually wrote about this for people a few weeks back. The thing about this is to understand that anytime you're feeling these things because what happens is in the old days as a human, and our human is our ego. That's what I call human. Okay, because once you transcend your ego, you're basically not human anymore. You don't feel like you're human. You're a multidimensional, and you're just walking around in a physical reality that returns a vibrational response to how you live your life. Okay, to the level of consciousness that each person is able to achieve within themselves and be able to maintain that expanded state. It's about expanding our consciousness and raising our vibration so high that we can hold the absolute highest vibrational everything within ourselves all of the time. And it means flooding our entire reality, flooding our consciousness with everything of the highest vibration, and surrounding ourselves and utilizing everything that supports the vibration of our physical body in order for it to activate and hold an immense amount of photonic light. Okay? Our bodies become computer processors, quantum processors that actually run light data through them. But we can't do that in the beginning because we're carrying so many programs, so many emotions, so many belief systems, all those things, those all have to clear the physical body. So the feeling of being disconnected, the feeling of no inspiration, that is a part of a process when we're going through a template wipe. Now you can move through that quicker if you want to, sometimes. Sometimes it's harder because it depends on the depths of the template wipe that's going on. Because when I went through my template being restored back to the original template several years ago, I had a whole month that I basically couldn't do anything creative. There was zero inspiration. But I will tell you, if you will get out in nature and connect with nature, if you will get out in the sun and sun charge, you have to sun charge your light body to activate the crystals, Christed consciousness in your body. Yes. To open up your pineal gland so that you can actually see the holographic universe, so that you can see all the other dimensions, so that you can actually see timelines, so you can see all of these things, so you can read light code. So you can see all the cosmic stuff that's going on, so you can hear the frequencies. The physical body's vibration has to raise. Now, some of that we can do. For me, when I felt, and I'm going to use the word stuck, because stuck is just energy that isn't moving. Yeah. Okay? We move the energy ourselves. And so when you feel that going on inside of you, then do something that opens your heart, whether it be go and lay out in nature and hug a tree, or go. What I used to do, when nothing else worked, I would get up and go do something for somebody else, do nice things for other people, and bring that energy of connection and kindness and appreciation. I would find people that had less than me. I would go just help other people for no reason, because it brings your angel energy through. It brings your Christed energy through when you're doing for others for no reason, and you don't want anything other than that feeling. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Lisa.
It's really,
thank you. Yes.
Thank you for,
go ahead.
Thank you for calling in.
Timing.
Yes, sorry, we're going to our next break. So thank you for calling in. Stay with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Continue blessings.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Have you wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Mark Lanehart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Mark's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. Dare to explore. Dare to live. For more information on Mark's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marklanehart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.
Tune in to The Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
America's service members and veterans are strong, forged out of bravery, sacrifice, and duty. Sometimes reaching out for help can be the most challenging and worthwhile mission of all. When you recognize something isn't right, make the call to the Veterans Crisis Line or Military Crisis Line. Dial 1-800-273-8255 and press 1.
Hey, welcome back, Inspired listeners, to Inspired Living Radio. Today's topic, Ascension, multidimensional new Earth, receive activations, higher consciousness, and physical body ascension with our very special guest, Lisa Transcendence Brown. Lisa, we do have another caller on the line that we want to bring on to Inspired Living Radio. Another question. I loved the last caller's question. Good stuff here as we are navigating different dimensionals, energy, and just having a whole lot of spiritual fun here on Inspired Living Radio. Lexi from Michigan, are you on the line with us?
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Lexi. Welcome to Inspired Living Radio. You're live with Lisa.
Oh, my goodness. Hi. I'm so excited. My question has to do with intimate relationships and how they affect our ascension when it doesn't really feel supportive of that. I feel like I'm really opening, and I'm not sure if he's coming along for the ride, and I don't know how to work with that.
This is a huge part of the process. You don't know how to what?
Work with that, really, or I don't know.
That's okay. So here's the thing. For everybody here, anytime that we have a challenge inside, anytime that we don't have an answer, we don't have to do anything, but I use words, because if you'll do these things, it makes it easier, okay? Is to determine which aspect of you that you are. Are you being your human you that's coming from a place of lack and need and attachment and judgment, lack of power, lack of respect for yourself and each other? Or are you being your highest aspect of yourself, coming from your purest place of love and integrity and honor and respect, and doing what you know is highest aligned? Does this make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Intimate relationships, okay? There's different levels of intimacy, and each phase, if I answer this question, this would take a really long time just because of the complexity of how relationships play out as far as ascension and multidimensionality go. But I will say relationships are also a part of the purification process and a returning to our own power, a returning to a place of respect for ourselves and each other, a returning, and it's part of our role is to bring our entire reality into full consciousness ourselves. Sometimes you can do this, sometimes we can't, because the other person is in a different place. And so each one of us have to determine, is this serving your highest purposes, or are you holding on from an ego lack place? Are you trying to get this person to see it your way? Are you trying to get them, are you trying to do anything at all? Is there a mutual respect? Is there a working together? Is this a conscious exchange? And these are the questions we ask ourselves. And the beauty is about relationships when we're going through, a lot of us, we had twin stuff that we had to go through in order to return to unity within ourselves and resolve the twin relationships, which was a part of the process too. It is that we come to full union within ourselves. And any person in our lives reflects back to us everything we need to see about ourselves.
Yes.
Every person in our lives shows us what we couldn't see before. They show us where we love ourselves. They show us where we are standing in our power. They show us where we're coming from a place of attachment or need. They show us where we're willing to compromise. They're showing us where we do or don't love ourselves fully yet. Does this make sense to you, Lexi?
It does, and that has been a huge part of our relationship, is the mirroring and learning and growing
and
together.
That's what relationships are for. But the thing about it is a fully conscious relationship is going to be each party fully conscious and working together from a place of love and respect. Now, and I will say I had to go through the twin relationship myself too in order to clear twin karma. I didn't know that I had that. It took me 2.5 years to clear it. Okay? Everybody is clearing their own, and we don't like karma, but we have to use the word. Karma is an unconscious program. Karma is an unconscious timeline. And what happens is any time we are playing out unconscious programs, we call forth somebody to help us get to that program where it's located in our body so we can clear it ourselves. When they have fulfilled that role, the thing about relationships is we convince ourselves that we need these people. We convince ourselves. What we don't understand is when you're changing dimensions, when you're completely vibrating out of one dimension and into another one with your whole body, there's a whole new reality that's pure. There's a whole new timeline that's waiting to come forth that can't because we're holding on to something of the old. There's new people in it. There's more beauty. There's more magnificence. There's more abundance. There's more of everything. But on a human level, we convince ourselves that this is the best reality we can get. Does that make sense, Lexi?
Totally. And I think I'm trying to decide, find out whether, this
go
is,
inside.
serving my highest best.
Okay. There's a simple way to do this every time is to close your eyes and go inside and go so deep inside yourself and just sit and feel your answers. Everything is inside. All you have to do is go connect and allow yourself, let completely go of all of your needs. Let completely go of everything and connect. The thing about the ego is that our ego doesn't like the answers we get, so we start searching for another. When you use the word trying, that's your ego. Your ego tries.
Yeah.
She gets it.
How do you,
it's your ego that's trying to get, because you don't like the answers you're getting. And that's how this works.
If it is time to dissolve a relationship, and it's really a good relationship, how do you begin that? Because there isn't, any reason to end it on the level
on a physical
3D.
world level, there might not be a reason, but your reasons are now inside of you. Their self-love, their self-respect, their integrity, their purity. It's a level of consciousness. It's basically you choosing yourself. Anytime we're in a duality reality, we have to choose ourselves because you're playing out a program. If you will step completely back from the whole relationship and just observe the whole thing, let go of all the judgment, let go of all the need, let go of everything and just see. The ego doesn't want to see. It doesn't want to face anything. It doesn't want to deal with anything. It doesn't want reality to change. Well, unfortunately, on a human level, everything is going to change. Everything is going to be brought into a higher vibrational reality. Now, for you to connect so deep inside of yourself, this means you're going to have to learn to trust. And that's the hardest part on an ego level is we don't trust. We don't trust what we can't touch. We don't trust what we can't prove. This is where you learn to trust your feelings. This is where you learn to listen to your higher self. This is where you learn to listen to your universe. It's your universe. It's you. On a higher dimensional existence, it's you. Trying to guide you, trying to assist you.
You did say that we were going to be going within before we took the call. So that's exactly what we're doing.
You got to go all the way inside. Yep. You got the answer, Lexi. You just don't like the answer you're getting.
Yeah.
Thanks for your question, Lexi. We appreciate you calling into Inspired Living Radio. We have another caller on the line that we want to get to before the end of the show because it goes so quickly. Thank you so much. Bridget from New Mexico, do you have a question for Lisa?
Hello. Bridget.
Hello.
Hi, Bridget.
I think I lost you. Hello.
Not there.
There.
Hi, Bridget. You there?
Here.
Inspired Living Radio.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Hi, Lisa. Hi, everybody.
Hi, sweetie. I know we only have a minute left, so go for it.
Yes. Well, I appreciate your work, first of all. And I'd like to ask you a question. I have gone through, just recently, complete change in my life.
Yes.
And I had to uproot from New Jersey, where I lived since 1981, and came to New Mexico. And I feel like that I'm reinventing myself.
You are.
But, yeah. Like completely, I had to let go of every single thing.
You do. Because New Earth, there's no solid footing. Okay. New Earth, there's no solid footing. We rebirth ourselves. We birth new realities from within. Through your deep inner connection, your whole reality is going to completely be reconfigured for you on a higher dimensional plane of existence. But on a human level, we have to move around a lot for a while. There's no solid footing. What is solid is where you come from. What creates the basis and the foundation for everybody's new reality here, new Earth reality, multidimensional realities, is that you come from a place of love and integrity. And integrity is to ourselves and each other. It's not a system. It's not what we thought it was. Okay? But this is you recreating your whole reality, starting to connect with your creativity, starting to open up, starting to share, starting to get yourself out there, starting to reconnect on a level inside of you so you can reconnect with others here too. Does this make sense?
Yes, yes, because I feel like I had to like disconnect from everything.
You do.
Mean, I was
you have to disconnect from
much.
everything to connect on a level. Yes. And what's going to happen is now you're entering the phase where you're going to step into all your fears. You're going to get yourself out there. You're going to be visible. It's time to step into your roles to make a difference on a soul level. It's stepping into your soul purposes, which means you're going to have to do everything that you convinced yourself you couldn't.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this is embracing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I feel like I am stepping into.
Yeah. This is it, and this is where you start to share yourself, who you are. Share your light. Share the story, not the stories of the egos. Share the stories of transcendence. Share the stories of beauty. Share the magic. Share the pictures of the light codes coming in from the sun and that you capture out in nature. Share your knowledge. All of this technology it's the knowledge of the other dimensional realms. We're here to share so completely that's where our abundance comes from, is through our sharing, our unity, our working together, our showing up, us coming through, and not putting the human reality first anymore. Does this make sense, sweetheart?
Yes, yes, and
share.
Yes, and I know that I have been coming in, like bringing in like a walk-in, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing in my angelic self.
Like yep.
Yeah, it feels like a walk-in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a whole different consciousness. And
it's a whole different consciousness and energy, yes.
And energy, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
I want you, okay, so do you know that, so for you, anybody bringing through the angel energy, you will have back pain in between your shoulder blades where your spine is.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
You have wings. You have wings, energetic wings that have to be brought out, and that back pain will go. And so you can actually... You close your eyes and you go, and you can actually use your hands. You can pull them out. We've done this for a ton of people through the years, is you have wings that have to come out. And once you expand your wings, you'll get different sets of wings. There are the phoenix wings that bring through your inner power. There's all kinds of wings. My first set of wings with Archangel Michael, and it kind of freaked me out because I didn't know we did these things. But if you will actually bring your wings out, you'll actually fly a whole lot more. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what was coming in for me in the past, that I'm also working through the gateways, through portals. And that's one of the work that I'm supposed. Yes. Yeah, that I have.
You and your body become the portal. Yes. You become the cosmic portal. You become the ascension portal. You become the gateway. And every person you connect with, you're able to bring them in through consciousness if you're the conscious one.
Right.
So this is why it's so important to maintain your highest state of consciousness all the time, because you affect every dimension, every reality, every person, everything through your level of consciousness that you hold.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And I'll be on the call on Saturday with you.
Oh,
thank you so much.
You
I'm proud of. I
Awesome.
purchased a couple of programs from you, and
you guys are awesome. I love you so much for your dedication.
I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you so much for calling in. And Lisa, thank you so much for being with us today. Our show's going to end here any moment.
I know.
Great show. Fun.
Yes.
It is fun. You know what? And that's important, is to remember that, because it can get quite daunting at times.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this process is not an easy one.
For the ego, remember that, Kimberly. For the ego, remember, keep using the words for the ego. Okay, it is an easy one. It is an easy process if you are connected on a soul level. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
If for every person who's confused, then pull completely away and go so deep inside of yourself that everything falls away.
Thank you so much, Lisa, calling in live from the beautiful island of Kauai. Thank you for being with us.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you,
and until next week, lots of love to all of our listeners.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Bye-bye.